Okay, so Vinay, can you just give me your brief introduction, like what you do and what is your role and responsibility?
Uh, like myself, Vinay Kumar, and basically I'm from Bangalore, and like I have total experience of 2.6, and 2 years in within automation, and 6 months were in the manual testing. And uh, if I come to my education, I completed my BE mechanical engineering, and I passed out in 2018, right? And yeah, and if I want to say about my roles and responsibilities, like as soon as I get a requirement from the team lead, sorry, as soon as we get the requirement from the manual test team, then we will be within that time we'll be getting the some of test cases from the test lead, and we'll be to make those automation, we'll execute those manually. First, we understand by why do manually means we need to understand the functionality of that to understand the functionality of that feature. Once that we understood, then only we go for other things to be done, uh, like uh, uh, like how many things we can able to automate, and all those kind of things we are going to see. Then we'll be starting off our rating of test scripts and the rating of our POM classes and test data. Once we're done with the test scripts, then we go for batch execution. And once we're done with the batch execution, then we will see we see our report and where in the Jenkins, like uh, uh, we can see about each HTML report, and even I involved in where in the Jenkins configurations, and also involved in where um, debugging of my test scripts, and involved in daily stand-up meetings and review meetings, and also retrospect meetings.
Yeah, that's fine, Vinay. So can you tell me, as you mentioned, you guys are, uh, refactoring, or we can say that identifying that the which number of test cases needs to be automated. So is this work is done by you only, or maybe the your team leader will suggest you this number of test cases needs to be automated, then you guys pick as an automation tester those test case, and then
Yeah, yeah,
start.
every time we'll be instructed by the our senior automation engineer what
Okay.
all the things he is going to be um, if they say also we cannot in some cases we cannot automate the things, then we'll be asked to our senior automation engineers, is that possible to automate this? I will find that way, and by then I will proceed with the
How
process.
do you find that way? Like, if suppose I have give you some test cases, okay, some scenario, and then I told you to automate this thing. So how you gonna decide what factors do you
Yeah,
consider?
some factors I don't know how to do that. Then you will do by searching in the Google and somewhere, and you will be finding that way in the how I did in my past previous project. That way
Okay.
I have involved in that. And even still more, I did not find the way. He will just help to just he will guide. He will guide that you have to follow these instructions and all those kind of things. Then based on that, I will try to work on that, and I'll to by this way I'm going to learn these things. Yeah.
Okay, so what you said is, I agree with you, no problem. But what I can add in this, so basically, if somebody gives you test cases or scenarios to automate, what you can do is you just have to first of all understand the functionality of that particular
Yes.
test case, and
Yes.
then you need to find out the we can say that the complexity of the functionality, and
Yes.
based on the complexity of that functionality, you can decide like whether how much time it will take, and how we can proceed with this thing. So this is also a factor, we can say that, like
Okay.
deciding which test case to be automate or not, right?
Okay. So, yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yes. Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So can you tell me, I'm just asking some manual question as well. So since you have a 6 months
Like,
of experience,
like
so yeah,
completely, I did not involve. Okay, one
it's just
only.
basic thing what you did in
Yeah.
automation. That's only
Fine.
thing I will ask you.
Fine.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So can you tell me like what is the differentiation between regression and functional testing?
Regression and functional testing is nothing but as soon as we what all the things we get, if we are like added and modified if any existing existing test scripts, then we'll be just we are like checking the functionality of previous features. If still it is working fine or not. Is that like regression test case? And if it comes under the functional testing, like we'll do by understanding of all the components of that functionality, and we'll be do all the functional testing of the components, whether that according to the requirements it's going to be working or not. By this way we are checking, and also we are testing the data flow between the components of our like components of our feature. We are checking that. By this way, I'm going to check each and every functionality of these things, both functional and as well as with the regression.
Yeah, that's completely right. Yeah. So can you tell me, like you are doing automation testing, right? So can you tell me which testing you fall under, like black box, white box, or the gray box testing?
Black box testing is following things.
Sorry?
Black box testing.
Okay. So, okay, no problem. Can you tell me, like, have you heard the name test bed?
No, no.
Okay, just to give a basic one-line answer for the test bed. So test bed is something basically, when we are doing our testing. So before doing our testing, we need to, do our configuration setup and environment setup, right? So before proceeding with anything for the testing of our application, we need to set up the environment and the configuration, like the hardware, what we required, and the software, what are the database we need. So these things which all comes under the test bed. So that is, we can say that the part of a definition of a test bed.
Okay, we can say like test plan also, yeah.
Yeah, so test plan is something else only, where you consider more factors. In test plan, you consider how many resources required for testing, how much time it will require, right? So which we can say that a lot of things in the test plan will be there, but the test bed is something related to your application setup and the environment and the configuration thing.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so you know low priority, severity, these things, priority and severity things, you know?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, so can you tell me, first of all, tell me what is the priority and what is the severity?
Severity, it will be based upon the we have 4 types. One is like blocker, critical, and major and minor, wherein the severity and priority we comes as high, medium, and low. And if we use a high priority, means like developer, how soon it should be fixed, that how soon affecting to the business flow, that on the blocker, critical, or by this way we can able to find that it is going to be affecting to our business flow or not.
That I understood. And what is severity?
Yes, sir. Severity is nothing but how much that severity, how much that is affecting to our customer, our business of that application. How much soon we should severity is how it differs, like how much that it is going to be fall on the how much affecting to that customer business flows. Yeah. Severity.
Okay, so can you give me one example where we can say that we have a low priority but high severity in the application?
High severity and low priority.
Yes.
Something I can say like logo, sir. We're in the logo, but it is not affecting to the if the logo spelling something like it is some word as mistake, then in that way, like I can say a small example, like we can make it as high priority because it is not affecting to the business flow, but
No, I'm asking low priority and high severity.
yeah, sir. Low priority.
Yes,
Okay.
priority is low. Yeah, you said is the high priority. Yeah.
Sorry, low priority only, sir. Sorry. Okay. Low priority and low priority because it is not affecting to any our customer business flow. So
Okay.
it's a low priority, and also I can give like like I can give it is a major because why? Because it is in the future if the customer want to contact with the same same company, then we'll get confused that whether that what I'm going to look at companies whether choosing that correct one or not. You'll get confused with the by customer, so we can give it as a major.
Okay, so you have answered, and I know as per your answer, like you know the terminologies like what is high priority or the low severity or whatever.
Yeah.
But but what I just want to add in this, like if you can just relate with some example, like in the previous example, like you try to give the example of logo, but in when I ask you like low priority and high severity, you just gave me some scenario, not the example, right?
Yeah.
So we can say that like a low priority, high severity is something like where the priority is low. Suppose in your application there is some module is there which is used by your user maybe in quarterly basis, right? So so that places if something goes wrong or at that places, then what you can do is you can say that like its priority will be low because the customer uses that particular module in a quarterly basis, but the problem is still exists there, right? So that's why the severity will be high only because that needs to be resolved. Otherwise after the 3 months when the customer trying to access that particular module, they are not able to get whatever the things they want from there, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so what I suggest you just knowing the things is very good, we can say that, but if you can just relate with some example, then it makes more impressive.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to work on that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
no problem. That you can improve. I'm just giving side by side some feedback also, so that you can just go through at the same time, right? What are the things you are saying and what needs to be little improved.
Yeah. Thanks, sir. Yeah.
Okay, so you have I believe you have not created the framework from the scratch, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Just I involved in wearing like form and test scripts of my
Okay.
test data.
So you, I believe you are using the page object model design pattern since last 2 years, right? As you said, you have 2 years of automation experience. So can you tell me one or two the disadvantage of the page object model design pattern?
Like I can say main disadvantage is like we are using a agile model, so whenever the requirement changes, I have to change the locators frequently, so it becomes sometimes tedious job to change the locators. I can say we're in the form clause.
But page object model, this design pattern comes only for this thing to be solved, right? Like
right.
Because you are separating every pages, every module pages you are separating.
Right.
Yeah.
Disadvantage is like I'm not getting the answer. Yeah.
Okay, let me add you, no problem.
Yeah.
So suppose the page object model is something like when you suppose it's first of all to building the page object model you required some person who has the knowledge of the TestNG and the Java and Selenium things, right?
Yeah, right.
So first of all we need a technical person to design the page object model. Okay, and other thing is the page object model is not a generic model like we have like keyword driven or data driven framework, right? So these are something where we can use the way we want to use the framework. But in the page object model, what happen is you are stick with your application, right? Suppose you
yeah,
have e-commerce application, so you are going to design the page object model in the way you have all the pages which is related to your application. So it is more on the side at your application, not generic, we can say that, right?
okay,
Yeah, so we can say that this kind of things like I mean this is we can say that the disadvantage as well, and somewhere it solve our problem as well, right? So it is
yeah,
mix of both the things.
yes, yeah, okay, yeah,
And as you mentioned, that point is also true only. But like if you separate the all pages, so suppose the page numbers like it is in thousands or maybe a 2000 number of pages, then you have to change in the locators that might affect you like doing the same thing in every pages, right?
yeah, yeah,
So that the one or two disadvantage we can say that, right?
okay, okay, yeah.
So how good you are in Java?
Like I can rate myself out of 5 means like 3, yeah, 3.
Three, okay. So can you tell me what is method hiding?
Like method hiding is nothing but like whatever the all the finding the element we are using in wherein the form classes, and we are getting that method wherein the test scripts, and we are using it, still we are using it, but wherein the test scripts we are not able to see those locators, but still we are using those locators by help of those getter method. So I can say I can say like I'm hiding the data wherein the form classes. By this way I'm hiding. And also, this concept is where it comes under the Java is like a abstract class and interface. Abstract class, yeah.
Okay, so what is the difference in encapsulation?
The main concept of encapsulation is that it is hiding the yeah, it is an hiding the data, and yeah, it's encapsulation concept. Sorry for that. Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
encapsulation concept.
So
But
so as you said, getter and setter, we will use that, right? So if you
yeah,
use getter and setter, that means you are making your a particular web element as in private, right? And
yeah,
when
yeah,
you
yeah,
when you have to access that, you are doing like getter and setter methods to access that particular private variable, right? So
yeah,
that
yeah.
is a part of encapsulation. So what is
Yes,
method
sir.
hiding?
Uh, like I'm hiding the data, still I'm using that wherein the test scripts. So um, hiding hiding the data is nothing but user cannot be see those implementation what we given over in the subclass. That is hiding the data.
Yes, you are somewhere right. Right now, what you said, it is right. Like something which is you defining in your parent class maybe, and that you
Yeah,
want to access in your sub classes, and that time you cannot use that. That time we
yeah,
can say that it's a method hiding. But previously, what you said is something encapsulation, right?
yeah, yes,
So let me tell you one example so that you can just understand it this concept for the long time. Uh,
okay,
so so method hiding is something what you said. Like suppose I have defined some method in my parent class, okay,
okay,
and
okay,
then what I just did is defining one method in my parent class as a static method, okay,
okay, yeah,
and that same static method I just want to use in my child class by extending the my parent class. Okay,
okay,
so that time since my method is a static method, so I cannot override that method,
yeah, yeah, right, yeah,
right? Because
yeah.
static method we cannot
We
override,
cannot give
we
the
can
implementation.
overload.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes. So that where we can say that the concept which we are using like method hiding, like the same method which
okay,
we have in our parent class, it is not able, we are not able to access in our child classes.
yeah,
Okay, so it
yeah,
is
yeah.
the concept of method hiding in Java.
Okay, sir, okay, yeah,
Okay, you got it right.
yeah, yeah, sir, yeah,
Okay, no problem. So try catch block, right?
yeah, yeah. We use try catch block.
So
Yeah,
suppose you have try catch block and you try to execute some statement in your try block, okay,
okay, okay,
and you are not just printing anything on in the try or catch block. You just returning the statement from there. I mean, whatever the things you are performing, the operation you are performing there, you are just returning that value from the try block or maybe the catch block, right? You got my question?
No, sir, no. Can you please repeat once again?
Yeah, if you not got my question, then let me know so that I can repeat once again.
Yeah.
Suppose you have write one method ABC, okay? Inside that you have used try and catch block, okay? In the try block, you are suppose performing any operation and you get the result and you store in one of the variable, right? That particular variable you are returning, you are writing return and that variable name over there, okay? You are not printing there, you just suppose once I call that method name ABC, then it will return me some value, okay? So if you are returning some value from your try or catch block, then can you tell me, like, if I have then finally block as well in the try, catch and finally block, so finally block will be executed or not?
Yes, sir. Finally, block will be executed all times. It won't check any exception will occur or not. It like what all the things is present where in the finally with the try catch block, the finally will also get executed. It won't check any exception over there in the where in the try block, where in final block.
Okay, so suppose is there any way, like, I don't want to execute the finally block. Suppose I have write it try catch and finally block. I just want to execute either the try block or the catch block, but don't want to execute finally block. So how we can achieve this?
In that time, no idea, sir. Yeah.
Have you heard the name like system.exit?
No, sir, no.
Okay, so there is a class called system class, and then if we use system.exit method in our finally block, then that time our finally block will not execute. Okay, so this way we can say that, like, we are stopping to execute that finally block in our try catch block.
Okay, sir. We have to use exit method from the system class. Yeah.
Yes. System dot, like the way we writing system dot out dot println. So so we have system dot exit method, and we can provide inside the exit method the integer value, that is 0, 1, -1. That values are there.
Okay. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the most favorite question. Sometime this question you may face maybe, but this kind of question sometime if the interview will ask you, regarding the try catch block, they will definitely ask you. Okay, so as you work in a like exceptions thing, can you tell me, like, while writing your script, have you ever faced runtime exception?
Yes, sir. Like
what kind of runtime exception you faced?
No such element exception, and sometimes I'll get an element not visible exception, and runtime exception like array index out of bound exception, string out of bound exceptions, null pointer exceptions I got there in runtime.
When you get this null pointer exception?
Like if example they given a driver is equal to null. Once that without using the driver, if we perform anything, then by using null method, if we call that driver, if you try to perform any action, you will get a null pointer exception in that case.
Basically, whenever you try to access any object and that object contains a null value, that time we can say that.
Yes,
okay. So you know the strings as well, right? String class.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So suppose I have one string s1 equals hello world. Okay. And I don't want to use any other object like apart from s1. Okay. And the situation here is like in the hello world, I have one E, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So that E needs to be replaced with A. Okay.
We have to use.
Just listen my question. I am not finished yet. So Yeah. So I have one string object, string s1, and the value contained is hello world. And inside the hello world, like I have to replace e with a. Okay. And then again I have to replace, okay, with whatever the a value which we have replaced just now with again e. And I don't want to use any other object or another variable to store the value and then perform the replace operation and all. Just using the string s1 object only.
Yeah, we have a method called s1 dot replace
Okay.
wherever key and value are like in the same way we can pass like that two formal arguments
Okay.
wherever e I will replace it as an a. Besides that within the string I'll pass that.
So
By this way I can achieve that. Yeah.
yeah, but using the replace, you are replacing e with a, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But I want to replace two times.
Yeah. I have to use then two times we have to use that replace method. Yeah.
So can you tell me, is this the correct statement? What I am, writing? Is this a
Uh,
correct or
I
wrong?
hope I hope
Just
not so that much, sir. Yeah, if we have like multiple, then we cannot go.
let me just read one line of the statement and then tell me, is it a right line for replacing two times? Like
Okay,
first we need to replace with e with a and then a with e. Okay.
okay, yeah, yeah,
So suppose I have string s1 and I write hello world, and then what I'm trying to do is s1 dot replace in the
okay,
bracket. I am replacing e. So first I will write e and then replace it with a, right?
yeah,
And then what I'm trying to do, again I put dot and then use replace, and again I'm trying to do replace it. I mean first I'm writing a and then with e.
okay.
So we can use like that, replace and in the bracket dot replace and again in the bracket whatever the things we need to replace. Can we use two time replace at one go, like s1 dot replace
Oh,
dot
yes, sir,
replace?
yeah, yeah, we can use it. Yeah,
Are you sure?
yes, sir, yeah.
Okay, that actually that's my question. But I
Okay.
just want to know that, like,
Like it
whether you are
happens
agreeing.
like
Yes,
method chaining. Yeah, in the form of method chaining, it happens. Sir. Yeah.
yes. That's what I am just trying to get confirmation, like whether you are agreeing with me or not. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah, yeah. We can do it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. So can you tell me, suppose I have one string and I just want to convert it into array. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So how can I do that?
By using two char array method we have. By
Okay.
by using two char array method, I can convert from string to array.
Okay. Yeah. Is there any other way also?
And also, I have other way like character. If you want to perform any by character wise, then I can go by using character method by using.
No. I have one sentence. I love to
Mhm.
do automation testing. Okay. And
Okay.
that particular sentence I need to print it in the console, like in one line I and in the second line love and in the third line two. I mean each word needs to be printed in one line only, like
Okay.
that.
Then we have to use print statement instead of ln. We'll remove that ln and will be vertically. We can able to print all those things.
Okay, yeah, no problem. I mean, what you said is also correct. Like what I'm expecting is here, like I mean, you can use the split method as well in the string
Yeah, yeah.
we have.
Split method. Yeah, yes, yeah,
Yeah, because
yeah,
in that way also we can achieve the same thing, right? We can
yeah, yeah.
split the entire sentence in a word and then we can run a for loop and then we'll get this thing.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
No problem. What you have said is also correct. Oh, so can you tell me what is the difference between hash map and hash table?
Hash map and hash table. Okay. Now, like a hash map, it will store all the objects in the value of key value pair, and also it also store key and value pair. But yeah, wherein the like the hash map, we cannot store all the key values. We cannot make a key values as null. But where in the hash map, we cannot make a key and value uh, key and value we can be make a null, but where in the hash map we cannot make the key and value cannot be make null.
No,
And
no, no. You are wrong. Can you repeat the same thing again?
yes,
Where you can make the key and value as a null and where you cannot.
in the hash map we can make a key and value pair can be null.
Okay.
And in the hash table,
Yeah.
we cannot make any of the keys and values cannot be in nulls. And
Okay.
also hash map initial capacity of hash map is 16, and we can say for hash map I can say 8.
Okay.
And also
So can you tell me? Okay,
keys
no
can
problem.
be keys can be duplicate over in the hash maps, and and only one key, that is also. And where in the hash table we cannot make even one duplicate key over in the hash map. Yeah.
Yes, you are right. No problem. So can you tell me which one is thread safe and which one is not thread safe?
Hash map is because it is all the methods are synchronized where in the hash map. So if you want to perform any parallel execution, then we have to go for hash table in that case.
Okay, so you mean hash table is a synchronized, thread safe, and hash map is not.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the let's come to some Selenium questions. Can you tell me what is the difference between driver.close and driver.quit method?
Driver.close method, it is going to work only for close the current browser which we are going able to perform. But where we use driver.quit method is to close all the windows, which all the sub windows we have. With that, it is going to be close all the windows.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Yeah. You are right. No problem. So can you tell me if suppose I have one web page and over there I have to click in one of the web element where I have to perform double click. So how can I do that? Like, is there any way?
Yeah, we have a double click method where in the action class by creating the object of action class where in the action class constructor he will be provide the reference of that web element address, and we'll be calling that reference of that action object of the
you are passing the web element address or the driver instance, the object.
Sorry, driver reference I am providing where in the action class, and double click inside the double click method I am providing the web element address. Yes, sir.
Yes, perfect. Yeah. So what will be the syntax of it exactly? Can you tell me like you are telling me just now?
Like actions, if I use like action A is equal to new action, and inside that driver reference I am providing inside that, and also object of reference and action class I given as A, and A dot double click method I will call where in we have inbuilt methods where in Selenium, and I will after finding the one web element, that web element address I am going to be store where in this I will call that web element reference where in the inside that double click methods inside that.
Yeah.
So that by that way I can click on that particular web element, double click. It will going to be click on that web page.
You will not use perform method like action dot double click and dot perform.
We have to perform. Without perform, it cannot able to perform.
Yeah, no problem. So suppose, can you tell me like which command we can use to copy the file from one location to another location?
To copy from one location to, we have inside that inbuilt method wherein the keys by passing inside that keys class only have like control A, where that it will copy all the element wherein the text field. If you want to pass another element, we have to use like keys dot control V, so that by that way I can able to copy and paste for one text box to another text box. I can get those things where which is present in the data.
Okay. So what I'm expecting here is like that's totally fine. But what I'm expecting is to command to copy the file from one location to another,
Um,
not the text from one. We can say that
mm,
from one text box to another.
mm,
Suppose you took the screenshot of one of the web page. Okay.
okay, okay.
So do you know the coding or the commands of the how to take a screenshot and all?
Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah,
So are you not use file util something?
yeah, yeah. We use file
So
util.
so over there you use file util class and then you have method copy file. Inside
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you are
Okay,
yeah,
okay, okay. Sorry, okay.
you got it?
Yeah, yeah, I got it, sir. Yeah.
Yes. So
And
that's
we
where
pass like
yeah.
source to destination where we have to pass that reference.
Yes, yes. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's where you will use this thing to copy your whatever the screenshot you have taken from one location to another location. So
Okay,
what?
sir.
So I have just just taken half part of the uh, entire screenshot functionality so that I just want to know that like if you are able to answer me or not this thing.
Oh, oh,
Okay,
okay,
no
sir.
problem. So let's move to some test ng. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Can you tell me what is the correct order, like the TestNG syntax or the tag which we use, like it works? What is
Uh,
the correct order?
like first it will execute before source.
Okay,
It will execute before all the test method. First, the method annotation method is going to be executed before suit.
okay,
Then it comes as before class and before test and before method. Then after then if we have any annotation methods, it is going to be execute. Then after method, like next after once after method, then it will execute after test and after class and after store. In this way, the order of the syntax where we use.
so I think you have reordered somewhere. Like first it is before suit, and then what before class or before test?
Before test and before class and before method.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. Previously, what you said is like after before suit, you said like before suit and then
Mm.
before class and before test,
Okay, okay.
like
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, just try to at the time of answering this things not jumbled up somewhere
Oh, yeah.
because first time you are answering in the wrong order and then like while reconfirming with you,
Yeah.
then you are saying in the correct order.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay.
Somewhere, yeah, without knowing sometimes it happens. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. So what exactly before test do?
Sorry? Before?
Before test.
Before test?
So what is the use of the at before test? What is
Before
the yeah.
method, like if we have a like multiple test scripts, like in our model we have a multiple model. If I
Okay.
want to work for each model, we create separate class for that. For that separate class we write that inside that method as annotation test method. Uh, which while creating that method, before that creating method only we use that annotation before method to call every time whenever the before method it executes, then it will come as a it will execute the test method, then it will close like before method it will annotation before method will get executed, then again before method will be execute again, some it will look another any annotation test method and again it will go for annotation after method. By this way it's continuous until the annotation test method how many is there, we continuously it's going
Uh,
to be.
when I understood what you explained, but my question is only like what is the use of at before test method?
before before
Before
test,
test, yes.
before test.
You
Okay.
just tell me what is the meaning of at before test. That's it.
Before test method is going to be execute only once by where we can execute our only one test method. Once we execute that before test method only, then we can go for another annotation test method.
Okay.
Only one time it is going to be executed in the before test
Okay. No problem. Uh, So, so you know that we when we use working with the TestNG framework, we have a
Okay.
TestNG.xml file, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So in the TestNG.xml file, have you ever encountered like parallel testing?
But I know about the things. I did not involved in my project, but I know I have a knowledge on those things.
What you
Yes.
know about the parallel testing?
We can able to perform batch execution by using you were asking about parallel, no, sir? Sorry.
Yes, yes, parallel.
Parallel, in that parallel we have able to perform like cross browser and one more is uh, oh, cross browser testing. We can like
So
say a
you
complete.
can so you
Yeah.
can perform parallel testing on which level, like class level, method level, or suite level? How?
I can say like test level, sir.
Only test level?
We can able to perform four ways, like class level also we can perform on method and also test class method. In the three ways we can able to perform. Yes.
Yes, yes, that's what I'm asking. Like at which different level we can perform the parallel
Yes,
testing?
sir. Yes. By three ways we can able to perform.
Okay. So can you tell me what is the thread count? Why we are writing the thread count in testng.xml file while
Mhm.
execution doing in the parallelly?
Yeah, why? Because if you want to like if I want to execute more than one browser, then in how many browser I am going to be execute, that many it will be execute that many thread counts. Based on that only, it will open the browser. For each browser, it is going to be take one thread count for
Yeah,
that.
so let me add something. Like it is like something. Suppose you have a more than 2,000 number of test cases and you want to execute it parallel, right?
Yes.
So you are gonna do the testing at the parallelly and doing the method level, right? Or the
Yes.
test level, and based on that you will provide the thread count. So whatever the value you will provide in the thread count, that number of threads will get created, and that number of browser instance will open for that number
Yes.
of test cases, right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, one particular thread gets freed, performing the testing, and then the second, I mean the sixth, I suppose you have decided to make the thread count as 5. Then the
Yes.
sixth one value will six number of test cases will assign to the first number of thread count, right? Because
Yes.
it will finish earlier based on the execution of test cases.
Yes. Yes,
So
sir.
what is the thread count? What is the default value of thread count? Do you know?
Default value of thread count is 1, sir.
No, it is 5.
Okay, okay. Defaultly, yeah, 5 will get. Yeah, normally,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yes,
So if
yes,
you are not defining also like
yeah.
the thread count value, it will be a 5 only.
Yes, sir. Yeah, yeah. Right.
Okay. So no problem. Do you know the meaning of timeout like in the like while we perform the parallel execution? What is the
Timeout.
meaning of timeout? Yes.
Uh, no, sir. I did not get this. Yeah.
Can you guess like based on what I mean how it will be related to your testing while doing the parallel execution? What is timeout?
Timeout exception will comes under the synchronization problem.
Okay.
Like, here in TestNG, I can say like, um,
In the TestNG also, let me just answer this question. Suppose you have decided to run a particular test case in between the 30 seconds. That means
okay,
one test case needs to be run in a 30 seconds. So
okay,
you have provided some timeout period over there. I mean that test case needs to be run in this time frame only. And if that particular test case is not able to run in that particular time, then what it will do, it will give you the timeout error. Okay. So
like I did not get that question. Like where we can able to put the timing on all those things where in TestNG.
so in this timeout attribute is basically with you can find in your testng.xml file. So while doing the parallel testing, most of the people use thread count, thread pool size, and the timeout things also.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. Okay, sir.
Yeah,
Okay, got it.
and what you said is like for the wait purpose or for the synchronization purpose, we also
Yeah,
get the timeout thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you have to make the thing clear, like uh, at which place the interviewer is actually asking the question, like
Yeah,
about the timeout issue or maybe the testng.xml file timeout thing.
yeah, yeah, right. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, sir, yeah.
So have you, I mean, performed some kind of database things also, like in
No,
your organization?
no, sir. I did not involved in that. Mm.
So are you planning to do? Because in the automation, maybe in the future you will get that, like we can say that
Yeah,
the API testing. So that time you
yeah,
need definitely need database thing.
yeah, yeah, sir. Yeah, right. I have I have a knowledge on API, but I don't have a knowledge on SQL, so I have to work on that. So still mm, further, I'm looking at that SQL only to learn that.
Okay, yeah, because SQL is a very important thing. You don't have to learn everything, but
Okay.
you just have basic knowledge of like how you can, write the CRUD operations, like how you can create the table, select the queries,
Yeah, yeah.
data from the database, this thing.
Yeah, I do have knowledge on API, but I have to learn the SQL, so that's it. Yeah.
Okay, because while working on the API real-time project, so you have to definitely you should have a knowledge of SQL thing because
Okay.
your API will get validated with the help of database values only,
Yes,
right?
yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's move to the last part of this interview. Like you know the agile methodologies, right? And
Yeah,
you
yes.
follow these things.
Yeah.
So what is the stand-up time period? Like how much time it will take to get the stand-up done?
Like for one sprint, you're asking about that?
Yes. So suppose in one sprint,
Okay.
you basically have everyday stand-up, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So how much time you guys or your Scrum Master or manager, whoever
Yeah.
is
Like
the top of that? Yeah.
yeah, his Scrum Master is handling that
Yes.
for a stand-up meeting, and it will take around 15 to 20 minutes. Like what are the things we are going to discuss, like what are the things we did, and if we get any hurdles of the test scripts, how to handle it by today. All kind of issue we are going to be discussed, and also a Scrum Master is every day is tracking our work and all those things. Yeah.
Okay. So what is like what you guys basically, what is your contribution in sprint retrospective?
In retrospective means so they initially they are using like TestNG so TestNG listener only. Just I given an idea about to use extent report to use to get our instead of checking every time exception,
Okay.
so we can easily get to know that where exactly the code has got failed, so that by that way I just given a hint to that my team lead, so by that way
So
he
so
developed in the middle of that our project, he developed the extent report.
okay, that means that your contribution is added into that, right?
Oh, yes sir, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. Then I believe I have covered everything which I want to know about you.
Yes
Okay.
sir. Okay.
Yeah, so that's it from my side. Like, and if I have to give any feedback about you,
Yeah.
so it is basically one or two lines. Like, first of all, what I observed that at the beginning when I asked you about, tell me about yourself,
Mhm.
you started, something else only. Like you just explain about you and then your education, and then you started with something form and all things also, right?
And
So
roles and responsibilities, I said that's.
yeah, so but what I believe is at the beginning of this thing, you just
Mhm.
don't have to include this thing, okay?
Mhm.
Uh,
Okay.
very deep knowledge about the form and the folder structure, whatever you said, okay?
Okay.
So at the beginning, what I believe, you just have to explain about you, what you did till now, how much experience you have, and then
Okay.
you did not mention anywhere in the entire interviews like what automation tools and everything. Like,
Okay.
but when you mention in your resume very well, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you have a knowledge in JIRA, and then for the defect tracking, you have a Jenkins knowledge, you know the
yeah,
Maven. So
yeah.
everything you have mentioned perfectly in your resume, but you, at the
Okay.
time of introducing yourself, you did not
Mhm.
mention these things. Like you have
Okay,
used the
okay.
debugging tool like TryXpath or CrowPath, like that,
Mm-hmm. Yes,
right?
sir. We have to explore those things and also like what all the
Yeah. So
tools we
my
used in and
yes, my
yeah.
suggestion would be like at the beginning, like whatever the things about yourself is something, what are the
Mhm.
things you know, and at
Mhm.
the top level, you have to just explain.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
no
Yeah,
need
right.
to
Yeah.
go at the beginning like about the form and everything, but that's
Okay, okay.
fine.
Mhm.
You can improve this thing.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for correcting me. Yeah, sir. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So first thing that, and the second thing what I found is, uh,
Mm.
most of the places you know the answers, okay,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
while explaining, somewhere you are just going beyond your answers. Like like
Okay.
what I observe is, like I just ask you, maybe there is a connection issue or my voice is not so clear to you. But what I
Mhm.
ask you, what is the meaning of @ before suit? But
Yeah.
I think you did not understand my question, or maybe the voice issue. But you started explaining everything about that, like @ before suit, @ method, @ test, everything, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So if so, this is my suggestion. Like if you did not get question from the interviewer side, you
Mhm.
can ask them to repeat, not one time, maybe two times. There is no issue, but do not
Okay.
blindly you can answer anything. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Yeah.
just take it in positive way, and this
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
some suggestion like what I observed that. Okay.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, yeah. So thank
But
you for this. Yeah, sir.
yeah,
Yeah.
but you have a knowledge in these things, like whatever the things I have asked you. And also
Okay.
one thing, suppose you are not able to answer any question, then just
Okay.
have a try to answer some logical answer to that question.
Okay. Okay,
Okay,
sir. Yeah, yes, sir.
because whatever the things someone is asking you, there is if I ask you something about test bed or something else, then you have to understand the word and just try to give explanation. If
Okay.
that is correct, that's fine. If it is not, then it shows that you are trying to answer the question, right?
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Directly
Yeah.
saying no is somewhere not expecting by the interviewer sometimes.
Yes, sir.
But you should not also take care, you should not explain anything. But if you think it is under the radar, or we can say that like it is some logical answer, then only you can go ahead and explain that.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Okay, so that's all. Like I have to give you the feedback, and I believe you are good with everything,
yeah,
with the
yeah, sir.
knowledge.
Yeah, it's a great
Okay.
interview actually. Yeah.
Yeah, so no
And
problem.
sir, one more thing I wanted to know,
Yeah.
like in my current project, what I am like recently I got a call letter from them. They are using like GitHub, but
Okay.
in my previous project I use like SVN.
Okay.
Like just I have know about like how to push and pulling is to GitHub like master where we push our test script to the GitHub, right, sir? Directly we don't push to master like what we have a master in that
Yes,
object
yes,
repository. We don't we push, but we push in our like future repository. Like for
yes.
that, can you guide me that, sir? Like how we have to push that?
Okay,
Because we
so your
actually,
question is regarding the GitHub, right?
yeah, yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, so basically what we follow is like suppose my repository in the GitHub, okay, and there is a
Okay.
master branch is already there and develop branch is also there, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
suppose in the sprint I get some work that needs to be develop 4 or 5 I have to automate the 4 or 5 test cases, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
then then I am new to the organization somewhere, and I have did not touch it any time before that, like the GitHub repository and everything. So what I did, I just set up everything in my own system, and I just clone that project, right?
Yeah, yeah. First we on that. Yeah.
Yeah, first we clone that, and after cloning that, we need to create one feature branch from there. Okay.
Okay, we need to create that feature branch where in the where in the our GitHub first.
Yes, yes. So we have to create the feature branch, and then once the feature branch is there, so we need to make sure that we are in the feature branch only, and whatever the changes we are doing
Okay,
in the feature branch only, right?
okay,
So
yeah,
you can check the branch and everything. You might be known that the git branch command we are using for that. So we can
yeah,
know that like in which branch we are right now, right?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
so in this way, you can start working on your branch and then feature branch. And once you are done with these things, then what you have to do, you might have someone, your senior, they are going to review your code
Yeah,
as well,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, so that we call it as a pull request. We create a pull request, and that pull request going to be approved by your seniors. And once your senior is approved that thing, then what you have to do is whatever the things you have developed in your feature branch, that needs to be merged with in your feature branch to the
branch, branch.
developer. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. We most
That's what I know, sir. But the things I know, but comments to use in within GitHub, I'm little bit like wherein I can create my local repository. That's fine with that. And after creating my test steps in the pushing my stage two on on stage two stage, I will use command right click team and commit and share project, and I will use
okay,
command,
okay,
so that my complete code will be go directly. It goes to the local repository. Once I push my
yes,
inside that dot git after
mm-hmm.
pushing
Yeah.
the thing, then I would directly have to push from staging to my future, sir, like future repository.
So what I know is simple logic is there. Like
Mm.
first of all, suppose I have made some changes and I am already in the feature branch, and then what I have to do is I have to use the git add command, right? So are you using UI based or the git bash or something else?
GitHub they use currently they
So
use.
so you are using UI based, right? Not command based.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, based only I'm using.
Okay, so I mostly preferred like the command base. So in the command base, what we have to do, suppose I make changes in abcd.java file. Suppose I have added few lines in that, then that changes is already done, right? So what I
Mm.
do is git
We get
add.
a conflict, sir. So many conflict we get when we using command prompt. So we do generally don't use that.
Okay,
Uh,
it's not like we'll get conflict, but there's a way like we can manage, then we don't get this conflict. I mean,
okay.
so what basically the process or the flow is like, once we use the git add command we use, that means
Okay.
we are telling the git to, hey, I'm make some changes in that particular thing, so just add this thing in your local repository. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so once it is done, then what happens actually, once it is done, then we do git commit. Then we are saying that like these are my changes, I have make these changes in my repository. So once I
Okay.
use git add command and git commit command, and then what I do, I just try to push this whatever the thing, when I do git add, right? So that time whatever the changes I am directly pushing into my staging area. Okay.
No. Okay.
Yeah, and then when we do git command, then it is completely, all the things are saved in my local repository. And
Yeah.
then from there, when we do git push, then that means we are telling that from the local repository, whatever the things I have added in my staging area, that
Mm.
needs to be pushed into my remote repository. That means our GitHub. Okay,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that particular branch we have to use. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So
Okay.
this, you can try somewhere, for your local system project. I mean, for yours, experience, you can just
Okay.
try with command base also. It is more easier, and
Okay.
it is not like that you will get conflict every time. If you follow
Okay.
the process correctly, then definitely most of the people are using command base only.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So have a try on this and try to learn SQL as well, because
Okay. Yeah.
not showing any experience in SQL is not good, because you have a bit of time, because it's already a 2.6 years. But
Yes.
once you have a 3 or more than 3 years of experience, then most of the time company prefers to having a knowledge in the SQL as well.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir.